Hey guys, welcome back to the No Reserve Classics showroom. Again, this is Joseph Hanna from No Reserve Classics. And boy, do we have a treat for you today. This 1969 Camaro RSSS full Pro Touring LS3 Supercharged 4L80 with paddle shifts, air ride adjustable suspension, and so much more. All right guys, hop inside and let's hear this LS3 Supercharged baby war. Take it out on a test drive and see how this baby rolls, huh? Automatically brought me to my number 2 setting, which is my driving setting. Really cool. About 100 PSI. That baby sure sounds good. The ultimate super Pro Touring 69 Camaro, guys. I mean, I can't describe how it feels to drive this car. It's just, you got all this power right at your toes. The cockpit of this car is just absolutely amazing and functional. This billet steering wheel by Flaming River is absolutely awesome, super comfortable. I got a tilt column over here. Detroit Speed custom made dash carrier, auto meter gauges, works awesome. Speedometer works great, RPM gauge. I'm at 170 degrees right now. About a quarter tank of gas. Voltmeter seems to be working good. I do have a digital voltmeter as well. Navigation system, custom retro sound radio. And I gotta tell you, the carbon fiber inlays, it's all custom made carbon fiber inlays on the cockpit. Absolutely looks phenomenal. Carbon fiber galore. Works really well with the exterior of the car. You got the carbon fiber spoiler package on the exterior. Going back in the interior though, I wanna talk about these seats a little bit. These are C6 seats that were custom made and built for this car. The rear matches the C6 seats in the front. Just an amazing combination. You got full modern amenities. I got a nicely bolstered seat that fits really nice. It's a full recliner, full power, TCI paddle shifters. When do you ever see that in a first gen Camaro? How amazing is that? It's like driving a Ferrari or an Audi or BMW. But I guess you do need that with a full Pro Touring car. Well, let me take that back. I don't know if you so much need it, but it is nice to have. Nice to have when you have an LS3 supercharged motor, Edelbrock E4 supercharger, essentially an LSA, 4L85 transmission. Phenomenal transmission. Dana rear end. This car could probably make upwards of 700 horsepower, so you definitely need a rear end that can handle it. And this custom made Dana rear end can definitely handle it. Handling and stability is amazing. Hats off to RideTech. RideTech fully adjustable air ride suspension, fully adjustable. You got this cool remote over here. You also have a wireless remote, and you can adjust the exact stance and type of handling you want, dependent on the driving that you're doing and the area that you're driving in. Absolutely amazing. This RideTech air ride suspension is absolutely amazing. You go to a car show, you press the little number one button, and boop, all the way down, and you have an awesome show car. This is the best of the best, guys. Paint and body alone was nearly $50,000, and it's all fully documented in a really cool high-end book. Documentation is very important for a build like this. This is over a $200,000 build that took over 3 years to build. Paint scheme is awesome. You got pepper gray with custom striping, 427 ZL1 hood, and just absolute perfection in the paint and body. This car was a rotisserie restoration. Obviously, if they spent that kind of money, it better be, right? Rotisserie nut and bolt restoration. The underbody of this car is just as impressive as the exterior of this car. So be my guest to put mirrors underneath it and show off your underbody and talk about that, because again, absolute perfection. And let's talk about the attention to detail on the body. Just like carbon fiber galore, billet galore. Even the door striker is a billet. Exhaust sounds phenomenal. And I tell you what, I hit a bump and I feel like I'm riding on clouds. And that's probably due to the setting that I have. And again, you could set it to whatever you'd like. Overall, just an immaculately well put together car. But all right, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a little bit more fun. I'll see you back in the barn to talk about this car more. So pay close attention to this car. Cars like this rarely come to the market. And something that is this high-end and this well-built usually stays with the owner. The paint and body on this car is absolutely top-notch and professionally done. Guys, $55,000 in 2015, which would probably be equivalent to us spending $85,000 or $90,000 today. $55,000 in 2015 was spent on this complete frame-off rotisserie restoration paint and body. Let's start with the front end of this car. You'll notice the Rally Sport package. Of course, a Detroit Speed package. You'll notice the Pro Touring Chevy bow tie emblem. We did our Resto-modded headlight package in the car, so you do have the infamous angel eyes and LED fog lights. Now, look at the spoiler on the car. It looks like a factory D80 spoiler, right? A D80 spoiler package would be the front spoiler and rear spoiler. But on this car, it's done a little different and a little bit of a twist. It's done in all real carbon fiber and looks phenomenal on this pepper gray paint. The front bumper was also painted to match the rest of the body. You'll notice the 427 hood that's on this car, the black stripe done way underneath the clear. You'll notice the custom Yanko stripe that goes all the way to the rear of the car. Now, moving to the rear of the car, you'll notice the American flag. It's very subtle in ghost stripes, ghost stars actually, to mimic the American flag. Hence the name of this car. This car's name is Project American Pride. Now, moving to the front of the car, on that 427 hood, if you look a little closer, you'll see these really nice, subtle ghost flames that you have to pay close attention to see. But the paint on this car is absolutely phenomenal. The paint scheme on this car is one of a kind. Again, absolutely phenomenal. This is a first place show winner at pretty much every car show you go to. 50% light tints all the way around. Moving to the rear of the car, you'll notice again that carbon fiber D80 spoiler package. The rear spoiler is carbon fiber. Billet tail lights, billet reverse lights, and then flush mounted side marker lights that are either made by Ring Brothers or Anvil. Not 100% sure, but hats off to them. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's step back and take a look at the wheel and tire package. You have 19/8 and 20 by 10.5. They're Rushforth live wire wheels with gunmetal centers, but not regular gunmetal centers. The centers were actually brushed and then done in a tinted clear. Just absolutely phenomenal. You'll take a little bit of a deeper look into the wheels. You'll notice the Bear disc brakes in the front. Not regular Bear disc brakes, you got Bear 6S disc brakes. This is a complete no expense spared restoration and pro touring build, and it is absolutely tremendously beautiful. Pictures and videos don't do this car justice at all. I could sit there and explain to you till I'm blue in the face what this car has, or that it's got a $55,000 paint restoration that was done immaculately. But you know what? At the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. And this car does come with a binder of documentation. But with a binder of documentation, you get something that we don't really get a lot, and it's pretty cool. This is a professionally built handbook on the restoration of this car with extremely high quality photos that starts from how the car originated, which actually wasn't a bad car, how the car originated all the way to the parts that were being installed on the car, to every single detail and aspect of all the metal work that was done with it on the rotisserie, all the way getting to the finished product of this car. So this book is something that you'll receive with the car. You might want to put it up on the shelf, or if you're just talking with your buddies and friends and want to discuss the build and the quality and the time and the effort that was put into putting something as miraculous as this car was. You have it in a full professional book, and you will get a binder of all the documentation of some of the accessories that was put on this car. But let's talk about the heart of the car. You have an LS3 motor in here with an Edelbrock E4 supercharger, essentially an LSA motor. Dynoed at right around 527 horsepower to the rear wheels. So the actual horsepower to the crank is probably around 20% over that, put you around 650 horsepower. Going on to the rest of the engine compartment, you'll notice the Concept 1 serpentine kit with the air conditioning system. You'll notice the Be Cool radiator, the Camaro Classics custom filler panel, billet aluminum fender braces, disc brakes, Detroit Speed windshield wipers, just absolutely the best of the best. Steel braided lines throughout, custom performance headers, electric fans, and again, it just goes on and on. But the reliability of an LS3 motor. An LS3 motor is what would have came in a C6 Corvette. Now you add the Edelbrock E4 supercharger and an LSA, that would come in a 15, 16, 17, 18 Camaro with a crap ton of horsepower. So again, the perfect combination of motor for a pro touring build. Now this motor is matted to a 4L80E transmission built by Gearstar with a Reds clutches system inside there and a TCI paddle shift. How cool is that? When do you see a first gen Camaro with modern paddle shifts like you'd get in an Audi or a BMW or a Ferrari? Guys, I mean, it's amazing. This 1969 Camaro is a pro touring supercar. So again, for the person that's just looking for a one-off car, this is it. Pay close attention to this car. The perfect pro touring interior. Functional, comfortable, with modern amenities. That's exactly what this car has. First thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is, of course, the seats. The most important thing, where you get your comfort from. You have full C6 custom interior with front bucket seats and matching rear seats. The matching rear seats in this car was actually taken out, done by hand to match the front C6 seats on this car. And the seats are full power and do have a full recliner, just like a modern car would. And the C6 seats bolster you a lot better. So with a full pro touring car, unlike an original 1969 Camaro, you could take corners in this car at 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. Well, that seat needs to be able to hold you in tight. And as far as safety goes, you have modern 3-point seat belts made by Morris Classics. Awesome seat belt setup. Now you look at the dash on the car, you'll notice on the steering wheel, it's a little different than what you would normally see on a 69 Camaro. Flaming River makes these steering wheels over here, and they are super comfortable, awesome, and very high-end. Not cheap by any means, but fits very well for an interior like this. They are billet steering wheels. You look behind the steering wheel, you're like, oh, what's that? I've never seen that before. Is that paddle shifters? Yeah, paddle shifters on a 1969 Camaro. Billet paddle shifters made by TCI with a gear indicator on it. The column is a tilt column, so for all you taller guys and gals out there, that does make a difference when you're getting in and out of the car. Detroit Speed dash with autometer gauges. Absolutely awesome looking gauges. Autometer, for you guys that don't know about autometer, research them. They're a very high-end gauge setup and company. Next thing you'll notice is the carbon fiber. This car's interior is all carbon fibered out. You have the carbon fiber sail panels. The center console is also carbon fiber. Factory style staple shifter, but with the right gear indicator for a 4L80E transmission for what this car has on it. Custom auto sound radio, 6.5-inch speakers built into the kick panels that are not completely outlandish, do look somewhat factory in there. You'll notice the Chevrolet racing floor mats in the car, nice little addition. Now, if you look below the autometer gauges, you'll notice there's a screen over there with settings and up and down arrows. That's your Ride Tech air ride control system. Now, we've talked about this show style interior, the comfort and the beauty of this interior. You might ask, well, what'd they do with the trunk? Simple thing. Well, the trunk was also done just like the interior. It's got the dot loop carpet on the bottom, the leather that matches a lot of the leather on the interior of this car. Even the battery box is done in a custom leather. It's got a custom wire coming out for a battery tender, so you can plug it right into your battery tender. Overall, the interior of this car, the trunk of this car is just put together with nothing but the top-notch materials, the the best products that money could possibly buy. Just excellent attention to detail. So again, this car was a complete frame-off rotisserie restoration, and you see that in the underbody. The underbody's floors were painted the same color, the same base coat, clear coat, and color as the exterior top of the car, the exact pepper gray. So this is a great car that you could bring to a car show and put some mirrors underneath it and really show off what you have to see on the underbody of this car, which is absolutely amazing. Now let's talk about the suspension, first and foremost. You have a RideTech Air Ride suspension with 3 settings. The number 1 setting is what you see right here. It's your show setting, which is all the way dumped down to the floor with an absolutely awesome stance. Your number 2 setting is your driving setting. When you're touring this car or just daily driving it, you set it to a number 2, and that preset is the exact correct ride height. I mean, for our territory over here in the East Coast. You might want to adjust that, and you can adjust that to exactly whatever you like and whatever driving conditions and driving style you have. The number 3 setting is what we call our transport setting. If this car has to be transported, you put it to a number 3. It puts it all the way at its top setting, and you could rest assured that it'll get in and out of a trailer without you scratching or nicking anything. So again, this RideTech Air Ride suspension is probably the best that you could possibly get on a full Pro Touring car. Of course, it is the most costly, but look at this thing. With the Air Ride suspension, with the RideTech Air Ride suspension, you have the RideTech tubular control arms, and then you have the RideTech full 4-link rear. Now going back to the rear of that car, again, only the best, a Dana 60 rear end to handle that LS3 supercharged motor that you have in the front. Full Flowmaster 3-inch exhaust, and just everything has been powder coated and done to show quality perfection. So if you're the guy or gal that's looking for an absolute perfect over-the-top Pro Touring build, pay close attention to this car, because again, it is very rare that cars like this come up to the market. Full 1969 Camaro RS SS LS3 Supercharged 4L80E transmission, TCI paddle shifts, Dana 60 rear, RideTech Air Ride suspension, and the list goes on and on and on. This is Joseph Hanna from No Reserve Classics. If you guys are interested in this car or a lot of other cool Resto Mod Pro Touring cars, subscribe to us on YouTube. That is the first platform that sees our inventory. And a lot of these cars are sold before they even hit our full marketing. And the first person to see it is the person who subscribed to our YouTube channel. So I urge you guys and gals, if you're interested in these cars or other Pro Touring, cool Resto Mod or classic cars, subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and now we're new to TikTok. And of course, check out our website, noreserveclassics.com.